Koti Kantha Krishna Kirtanadha Danda Dharanam Nasi Vesha Hahutas Sarvadesha Hahutasa Kadaram Prema Dhama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. The thing is at Katwa. And 400 years back, when Mahaprabhu took his sannyas. Beautiful, tall figure, young, 24, and the curling, beautiful hair. The Bar approaching to save, but coming back. How I can remove such beautiful hair from such a beautiful face? I began to cry. And so many crying aloud. What a horrible thing is being done here. Some say, who is the creator who created this sannyas? Who is he? So hard. Created sannyas ashram. Give up all his nears and dears and go taking a begging occupation from door to door, living his own their kind helplessly. What is the creation of the Supreme? Is it logical or hearty? Very cruel creation. Mahaprabhu is smiling, he himself is smiling. Anyhow, the Barbar was forced to save the head. In the midst of weeping, wailing, crying, the mob, threatening, threatening, in the midst of it is done. And the inevitable gradually came out, the sannyas function finished. Chandrasekhar, Acharya, the maternal uncle, he was deputed to take function in the rituals, in the ceremony of sannyas. And he did so. Mahaprabhu, he himself, he had no senses, always in normal position, in ecstasy, joy, dancing. The shedding, half shedding, he came out and began to dance and get down, chant in this way. Then anyhow, it was finished. Sannyas was finished. Mahaprabhu asked when the mantram will be conferred. Mahaprabhu asked his sannyas guru, is this the mantra I got in dream? You please check it. Yes, this is the mantra. Then that mantra was given to him to his Yaragate. And the name of the sannyasi, not in ordinary way, but came through Keshav Bharati in a peculiar name. Krishna Chaitanya. Neither Bharati, nor Puri, nor Giri, all these things. Krishna Chaitanya, that name came. And as soon as that name came out, the mob began to cry within, Jai Krishna Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu ki Jai, in this way. Then Sri Chaitanya Dev, in a new dress, red rag, robe, he embraced his Guru Bharati, and both of them began to dance, chanting the name of Krishna. After some time, the meaning of the name was given out, that you have aroused consciousness, Krishna consciousness in the whole world. You have come down to make the whole people Krishna conscious. So your name, suitable name, cannot but be Krishna Chaitanya. Then after the function is done, Mahaprabhu chants began to chant the one slok poem of Srimad Bhagavatam of Tijandi Bhikshu. Etang samasthaya paratmanistha mupasitang purvatamais mahadivi aham tarishyami durantapadam tamo mukundangri nishivariva. In 11th canto of Bhagavat, Krishna is himself giving description of a Tijandi Bhikshu, a Brahmin, how in the last stage he took Tijanda sannyas, and how he had to tolerate the torture of the society in different forms. There is in the last slok one, Etang samasthaya paratmanistha upasitang purvatamais mahadivi. The previous Greek sages, they have accepted, they have shown the path of sannyas. That very form of life I have got, I have accepted, I have got now. Now, what to do? Leaving everything back, I shall run towards Vrindavan, and there, taking the name of Mukunda, as a Krishna, I shall cross over the ocean of nescience, of illusion, misconception. The ocean I cross out. Etang samasthaya paratmanishtam upasitang purvatamais mahadvi aham tarishyam durantapadam tamo mukundangri nishivaiva. The ocean of ignorance, the science, that is misconception, I shall cross over. Mukunda Sevana, by my tendency to serve Mukunda, who is on the other side. Crossing over this Maya, I shall reach Vrindavan, and I shall engage myself in the service of Mukunda. With this slok, Mahaprabhu suddenly started towards Vrindavan from Katwa and entered into the adjacent forest, therein on the banks of the Ajay River, entered there. Guru kahe sadhu ei bhikkhu ko vachan mukunda sevanavata kaila nirdaram paratmanistha matra vesha dharan mukunda sevay hai sansar taran সেই বেশ কইল এরে বৃন্দাবন গিয়া কৃষ্ণ সেবন করি nibhite vishya. Now my duty is to reach Vrindavan as soon as possible, and there in some solitary place I shall take my seat and go on chanting and singing the name of Krishna. With this, Mahaprabhu ran towards Vrindavan and entered into jungle before evening. And Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Mukunda Datta, Jagadananda, these four, they pursued him, followed. Sometimes he is running, sometimes suddenly he falls on the ground and began to cry, Krishna, Krishna. Again, getting up suddenly, again began to run. Sometimes west side, sometimes north, sometimes south, in this way, running. Sometimes so swiftly he is running away, they cannot trace him, especially in the night. Then they are all disappointed. Prabhu, our Lord, must left us. They can't find him out. Suddenly they heard from far off, from a place, in a very wailing tone, he is crying, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then they ran that side and saw that just on the field he is lying and crying, Krishna, Krishna. Anyhow, after some nursing, again they began to start towards western Vrindavan side. In this way, Nityananda Prabhu is always willing, taking the advantage of his trance. He is wandering in trance. So taking the advantage of his trance, Nityananda Prabhu anyhow coaxingly turned his face towards this Vrindavan, this side, in this way. From Katwa, after when going along to the western side, after Vakreshwar, it is mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat. But after Vishrantala, on the other side of Ajay, he went, mention is there. They are observing that place as the seat of Sri Chaitanya. Then they say Chaitanya Vera, there is a place nearby. This is Chaitanya. He turned his face from this side towards east. Anyhow, from the evening, the remaining day and night, and then also another day and night. Then on the third day, in the evening, he came back by this side through Kalna to Shantipur. Nityananda Prabhu managed anyhow to take him towards Shantipur. So today began that sannyas. ভূমিতে পবিত্র করে দাও সব, দিক বিদিক জ্ঞান নাই, রাত্রি দিবসী ভূমিতে পবিত্র করে দাও সব রাত দেশে. In such a trance he is moving, there is no trace of any direction. Sometimes this direction, another this direction, and again this direction. No direction, running, I am going to Vrindavan. I am going to Vrindavan. independent of the space of the material world. Vrindavan. Where is Vrindavan? Thakur Maharaj says, কবে হাম হৃদব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন, বিষয় ছাড়িয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মন, কবে হাম হৃদব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন. What is Vrindavan proper? That is a stage of consciousness. Vrindavan really, Vrindavan, Golok, all stages of consciousness, difference in the stage. So comes that subjective reality. It's all subjective. God, Lord says, let there be water, there was water. Let there be earth, there was earth. Let there be light, there was light. All come out from his willpower. The potency, the sweet will of the Lord, all subjective. If the higher subject wants to make the lower subject to see something, like a hypnotizer, he cannot but see that thing. So this is all in the imaginary world, but in above imagination also, in reality, that is also all subjective. Sattam vishuddham vasudeva sabditam jadiyate tattva pramana pavita sattve cha tasmin bhagavan vasudeva jaduk sajume nosa vidiyate. A slok from Bhagavatam. It says, what is Vasudev? Mahadev says to Devi Durga, when Maharaj Daksha, the father of Sati, he performed a great sacrifice, invited all the gods and the respectable personality. And Shiva also was invited, Mahadev. Not to speak of Narayana, even Brahma, father of Daksha. Others, all others, they gave their due respect to Daksha Maharaj, Prajapati. But Mahadev, he also did not, though formally he was his son-in-law, as Daksha Prajapati was his father-in-law. Still, he did not show any special respect, thinking that formally he is his superior relation. Daksha was enraged, and he made arrangement of another bigger sacrifice and invited everyone, with the exception of Mahadev Shiva, to insult him. All the world invited, only Daksha's youngest girl, Sati, and her husband, Mahadev. That was exempted. So all are going to join to keep the invitation going. Sati, the heart is very much mortified. Father has exempted us, insulting. She asked her husband, why did you not show any respect to him? Formally, he is your father-in-law. Why did you not give any respect? Then Mahadev answered, Sattam vishuddham vasudeva sabditam jadi yate tattva puman apavrita satyeka tasmin bhagavan vasudeva jhadak sajume namasa vidhiyate. Devi, this is not the question of belittling his position, not a question of insulting, but the fact is that my head is always engaged in giving respect to Vasudeva. Who is Vasudeva? Here it is explained. Satyam Visuddham Vasudeva Shabdita. Tamo Raja Sattva. From science to science. From ignorance to pure consciousness. Which is Vishuddha Sattva, that is the pure uncontaminated consciousness, independent of any material touch. It is known as Vasudeva. Vasudeva, who is Vasudeva? The father of Krishna, from whom Vasudeva is coming out. Who is he? He is the presentation of the uncontaminated and pure consciousness, free from any contamination of matter. That is Vasudeva. And Jadiyate Tattvam, and in that plane, who appears as the enjoyer of the whole? He is Vasudeva. I am always in communion with him, and my head is always engaged there. My attention, my brain is always captured by the charm of that Vasudeva. I am guided by that sentiment. So, I cannot take off my head from there, attention from there, and to engage it in some other place. It is the most difficult thing for me. Not that purposely I insulted your father, but it is, by nature it was so. So, in Bhagavatam, here we find that what is Vasudeva? Where is Vrindavan, where is Goloka, where is Vaikuntha? We have to trace by the standard of this understanding. So, Mahaprabhu, he already in Vrindavan, Goloka, Vrindavan, Nabadwip stage, to show us his and in ecstasy, Hidad. Everywhere there is Vrindavan. Little after when he met Advaita Prabhu, आचार्य कहे तुम यहाँ सही वृंदावन मोर भाग्य गंगा तीरे तुम्हारा आगमन. It is a very merry spot that you say you are going to Vrindavan. Wherever you are, there is Vrindavan we see. We feel it. Wherever you are, Vrindavan is there. We have that experience. Still, it is a very peculiar thing that you say, I am going to Vrindavan. To teach us, this is your formal expression. In this way, Mahaprabhu running Hidar in this way playing. Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a stage of consciousness. Above Vaikuntha, the simplicity, the plain dealings, and love divine, simple love, plain, very humility. They do not think the peculiarity is this. They do not feel that they are in Vrindavan. That is the peculiarity there. This is aprakata. Knowledge has been classified under 5 heads. The rest is sense experience of one's own. Pratyek, what I have experienced through my senses, that is this faster stage. The next higher, I have not experienced by my own senses, but I have gathered from the experiences of others, their sense experience. Scientists have got his experience. I have gathered that his invention, discovery, I am using that. The second stage, third stage, which is over the stage of experience, human experience, but non-differentiable. Something like deep sleep. When we are awake, we say, I slept very happily. I slept a very sound, good sleep. But at that time we can't assert. When deep sleep, dreamless sleep. But when we come back from the deep sleep, dreamless sleep, we express some sort of experience. Very good sleep, I slept. So some sort of hazy experience of paruksanavut. That is, the subject and the material object, they comes together. Material object vanishes in the subject. After that, there is a stage, the Shankaracharya, he explains up to this. But Ramanuja and his Vaishnava followers and other Vaishnava Acharya, they are of opinion there is a fourth stage that is called transcendental. Beyond, that exists beyond the scope of senses, whether gross or subtle. How is that? A plane, when of a sweet will it can come down to our gross plane of understanding, we can feel, we can have some experience. If we withdraw, we are helpless, we can't find it. So we can't say that it is under control, under our own knowledge. We can't count it like that. It is independent. At its sweet will it may come down and it may give some sort of experience, and it will withdraw, and I am quite helpless. I have nothing to do. I may cry, I may pray, but I can't enter there forcibly out of dint of my power. This is Turiya, the fourth plane, and this is grand and awe-inspiring and very powerful. All this we get some experience of there by control. Then in a short to say, this is adhoksaja plane. Pratyakha, parokha, aparokha. Then fourth is turiya, fourth dimension, or adhoksaja. Adhokshaja means, you may say underground, or we are underground. The knowledge is on the surface, our experience is underground. Or that is underground, that the thick cover, if we can pierce through the thick cover that are walling up our experience, then we can come in connection with that plane, another plane. That is adhokshaja. Adhoksajam indriyajam jnanam. The knowledge that have made down, kept down the knowledge of our experience, superior knowledge, which has forced down our knowledge of experience of this world, that sort of transcendental, supramental knowledge. That is Turiya, fourth classes of knowledge. There is something different in every point, not similar with this world. But from Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahaprabhu we come to know that 1/5 stage of knowledge there is, which is very similar to this mundane, but not mundane. This is aprakita. Prakita what? Or according to Bhagavatam, kevala. Kevala. In which one may not have to think that he is out of this worldly knowledge. He is within this worldly knowledge. But really it is not so. A very peculiar thing. Aprakita. No prakita. Similar to prakita. Very similar to mundane, but not mundane. That is what is Goloka. In other words, if we can think that the knowledge, the central knowledge that gives connection to the lowest level of mundane creation, can harmonize the worst portion of illusory world. That is aprakita. Aprakita. And that is possible only through love. Only through love. The compensation is carried only through love. It is possible, otherwise not. Just as there is a saying, a blind son seems to his mother as a very good-eyed son. Ordinarily, there is this expression, proverb in Bengali, kana chhele paddalocham. Really, a blind son, one-eyed. But mother says, no, my child has a very good eye, like lotus eye. Blind by the affection. What is mean and low only compensated by the love that shines very beautiful. That is prema or love. Through mercy, through pity, through grace, a king can come to play with a boy on the street. Affection can make it possible. The high and the low, the difference disappears at such a stage. They think like that we are ordinary. Jnana Shunya Bhakti. It is known as Gyanashunya. Ignorant devotion, if we have to say like that. Gyanashunya bhakti. It is above Vaikuntha through the manipulation of the special art of the inner potency of Krishna, Yogamaya. It is designed and destined in such a way that holding the highest position, they think themselves very humble. The difference, love removes the difference of great and small, high and low. As such a plane is there, Gyanashunya. So, they may not know. Sometimes anyone may rouse in them, just as Advaita says. By calculation, we can find wherever you are, there is Vrindavan. Rathai Vaishnavgণ Sai Sthan Vrindavan. Bhaktam Thakur says, wherever we find the true devotee of Krishna, that is Vrindavan. Outwardly they may think that they are members of this ordinary world, but they are talking and they are the object of their converse and their behavior, conduct, all concerning Vrindavan, so similar with that. Though they are there, but they cannot feel themselves. That is, when they are not very conscious. A king, when he is not very conscious of his power, a plain, simple human, a king as an ordinary human being, as he comes to deed, something like that. A scholar, a big doctor, when he is coming to doing the work of the nurse to a patient, is a bright scholar, but he has come down through affection to do the work of a sweeper for the patient, for his love, affection for the patient. He's come down. Still he is great. It is beautiful. It is Vrindavan-like. We are told that this is a big, without the attitude, the air of bigness. Ordinarily low, simple, plain, humble. Really they are big. Modesty, humility comes to this. The power, power dressed in affection and love. That is Vrindavan. Nabadwip is also like that. That is Gyanashunya Bhakti in general, it is told. Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu says, this is the most laudable thing for us to live. This is the highest place. There the Lord is as Krishna, and the gopis, half jungle. They are living as half jungle, the forest. Jungle jati ke ki wale, who lives in the forest, like that. There's not ganja, not big buildings, but if we can had the eye of grandness, then it can be seen that really there is that grand potentiality is there. And the Arastha Vijar, from the calculation of fact, their position is very great, but humility, modesty, grace, pity, all these things have made them to our level, and that is very sweet and a beautiful form of life. That's what we find in Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu came to show that to us through Bhagavatam. Krishna is the Lord of that land, and with gopi, all simple, and the cows, hills, jungles, Yamuna, all they are all the helping environment they are. So Mahaprabhu took sannyas to teach us, to take us permanently, to make us the inhabitants of that place, and he says that really in our own self we live there, but our consciousness is focused outside, captured by the material aspect, mundane aspect of the creation, and we think we are suffering. This is all delusion. We have to get relief from this mania, or this is mania means like something like pagal ho jaye, madness. Madness repossessed by some mania, some sort of just as madman is wandering in the street and collecting the pieces of papers and the cloth in this way, we are focused in that way. And this madness gone, we rise in our own home. So back to God, back to home. Back to God, back to home. It is like that. We have to go back to our home. And Mahaprabhu says, your home is like this, a beautiful land. You try for that. Why you are on that stumble, thinking that horrors of war, and this epidemic, earthquake, then fighting from so many, from neighbors fighting, so many undesirable diseases, stealing, dacoity, then the whole, at the bottom of all, that we have identified ourselves with this body of flesh and blood. Our consciousness thrown to be conscious that we are identified with this body and this material world. And we have to retrace, go back to our home. And the homeland is such lovely and beautiful and divine. And that is what is necessary. Mahaprabhu avatar, sannyas, it is all for them. This path to take us back to home. Home comfort, home sweetness. We have home consciousness within, then we shall have to appreciate such proposal the home, sweet, sweet home, sweetness, home. Mahaprabhu's sannyas apparently very cruel to his devotees and to his family persons. But it was meant only to take us to our home, So that separation and union to work out union, ecstasy of union, it was necessary for Mahaprabhu to show the separation from his devotees and from his relatives. So, separation and union, mutual, helping mutual, standing by mutual help, separation and union, helping one another. Hari Krishna, Gaur Hari, Medai. So this Mahaprabhu's sannyas, the renunciation, the great tragedy-like thing, separation. When Mahaprabhu after 5 years has come back, and he was just on the roof of a big building near Vidyanagar, where the brother of Sarvabhauma Pandit was living. He was there, and the people of Nabadwip and the whole from men, women, young, old, they all madly came to see, had a darshan, a glimpse of his face. They all came. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his internal conception of Gaura Lila, he just copying the Lila of Kurukshetra. Lila of Kurukshetra was Dwaraka Krishna and the gopis of Vrindavan meeting. And the gopis wanted, Gopi wanted to take him from Dwaraka to Vrindavan. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is just aspiring like that. He is looking that sannyasi Mahaprabhu, that Mahaprabhu after 5 years when he came to give a visit here at that time, he is looking on the roof of Vachaspati Pandit, at the house of Vachaspati Pandit, the red-clad Mahaprabhu, and he, as one of the members of the Siva Sangam, the permanent resident of Nabadwip, he wants that just like Dwaraka Krishna, he is there. Krishna has gone to Dwaraka, he won't come to Vrindavan again. Their heart is always burdened with such grief. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur praying earnestly, when the day will come that Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev, will give up his sannyas dress, this dress of the ascetic, and again come and join in Siva Sangam, and together we shall go on Kirtan in Siva Sangam, all here. Now he won't come. As a sannyasi, he can't come to his own old house and the place. So we are deserted by him. But our aspiration that we like that this Dwarakadesh, the kingly dress, the royal dress should be removed, and the cowboy dress should be put into Krishna, and I shall take Krishna into Vrindavan, and we pray with, rejoice with him. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is aspiring. Sannyasi dress will be put up, and we shall put our dress to, and we get that Nimai Pandit Gauranga, who has one of us in Sivasangam, and we shall chant together and take the name of Krishna and rejoice. When such day will come. In this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bhajan Lalasa, he expressed his prayer like that. When Mahaprabhu came here, only for a few days after his sannyas, in this area of Nabadwip, again, once again. Guru Hari, here I stop.